Hey, what's happening? It's Bill Smith. I don't know if anybody can hear me. This is the first time I've ever tried to live stream, so I don't know if it works or not. I don't know how to stop it or I barely got it started. I can see that it works though. I can't see anybody's comments. So, give me a second. I'm going to need a few minutes to kind of get set up, I guess. All right. Okay, so I don't feel comfortable with this yet. I know there's only a few people in the room. Thanks for everybody that kind of showed up and found it. That's actually kind of cool that I was able to get this to work. Somebody said that the sound was kind of low. I'm sorry for that. I'll try to get that figured out on like a private stream. I'm just kind of gonna sit here for a second because I don't know what I'm doing. Like I said, I'm just gonna read some news. I'm gonna go over some stuff on my own. Um, and then I'll queue up like a private live stream for myself later so I can kind of get all the bugs and kinks worked out. I thought there was going to be more to this. So I guess we'll just kind of cover some stuff. Um, Jussie Smollett, what's up with that guy, right? So on the Drudge Report, I just saw this a few minutes ago. They dropped all the charges against him, which was weird because it looks like he's pretty guilty of a hate crime or a hate hoax crime. Hoax hate crime? How would you say that? So supposedly he's related to Kamala Harris as a cousin, second cousin or something. I know it's not the nephew. I know that's what I said in the video. I was just trying to pass along what everybody else was saying. But I think that it's too much of a coincidence that his mother's maiden name would be the same last name as Kamala Harris, and then he's in a picture with Kamala Harris and involved with Obama and all kinds of stuff. So I imagine they're related. I don't think that's a coincidence, but it's not been proven yet. Supposedly, though, this Kim Fox chick, woman, excuse me, we can go look her up. Kim Fox. I feel odd. like, like, I'm worried about. I mean, sometimes you see stuff on the internet you just don't want to see. I'm worried. I've been to this like site called the Stormer a couple times, just because the stuff that I'm looking for sometimes doesn't show up anywhere else, and it like YouTube's making a big deal out of hate speech. I know people are getting kicked off for hate speech, which isn't even it's not even illegal. Like you can hate whoever you want. I don't want to do I don't want to engage in hate speech, but at the same time I don't want to show content that could be deemed as hate speech. And since I'm on a live stream, I don't really know what to do here. So I think we're going to stick to the board and just have a conversation until I can figure out whether or not I can safely live stream on my own. I hope you understand that cuz I want to get I want to get I want to be a part of the YouTube partner program. You know, I spend a lot of time doing this. I'd like to at least like live stream all my research stuff. Like when I'm online looking for something, I want to live stream that, and I'd like to run ads on my videos. I mean, I've been doing this for a year and a half. I got like 6 million views or something, and I've never run ads. So on this channel, if I want to run ads, I got to be kind of safe about it, which means I can't say some of the stuff that have gotten me strikes in the past. And I've had 7 strikes. I've been banned twice. So I guess I'm just thinking out loud here. You know, this is my first live stream. I'm gonna be kind of being kind of safer on this channel. I think we'll still talk about the same stuff. I'll still cover all the same content. But what I want to do is I want to do a live stream at this, like one live stream Monday through Friday at the same time every day, either in the morning or at night. In the morning would be like maybe 9 a.m. Eastern time, between 9 and 10 a.m. Eastern time, or it would be at night, you know, probably at like 6 or 7 Eastern time. Maybe later than that. Maybe like a 9 p.m. kind of thing Eastern time. I'm not sure how it's going to work out yet, but I'd like to be consistent, and I'd like to show people like where I get my information from, because sometimes I just, you know, I'll surf for like 2 or 3 hours, then I'll make a 15-minute video about it. So it'd be interesting for me to show you where how I look for this stuff. So if you'd like a morning news program, write that in the comments. If you'd like an evening news program, write that. Also, I can't see your comments, so I'll have to go back and look at this in a second. Consistency. That's what I'm going to go for. So if I'm going to be consistent and I'm going to stick to all the rules, then I hope you don't hate me, but I would like to run ads on my work. I don't really want to ask for donations. I think eventually I'll sign up for like a super chat. I think that you enable the two of those at the same time. But in order to do that, you have to have like 3,000 hours of watch time, and I'm nowhere close on this channel. So until you get to that mark, until you get to the 3,000 hours of watched content, you probably shouldn't say anything that's going to keep you from getting approved, if you know what I'm saying. So this won't change my other channel. You know, I'll still do the same hard-hitting, you know, summary journalism I try to go for over on that side. I just get so many strikes over there that I don't want to also do it on the live streaming, because I think they monitor the live streaming a lot more closely. And, you know, honestly, like, you know where I stand on most of this stuff. You know, I believe QAnon is real. It's fully legit. It's a White House insider, and they're close to Trump. I also remember they said they're going to save Israel for last. Saving Israel for last. And that kind of gives me a little bit of hope, because it looks like Donald Trump is Israel's best friend right now, as far as Benjamin Netanyahu is concerned. I think that I read that quote today. So, you know, where's this all going? I don't know. I know the Smollett stuff is weird, and this Kim Fox is like the district attorney, I think. Something like that. If she's not the district attorney in Chicago, she's somebody important like that that can oversee an investigation. And she was trying to get this removed from the local police and put into the FBI as a chief investigation. I'm just going off of memory here. I could be wrong. You know, I don't have the content in front of me right now, the news articles, but from memory, that's who that woman is. And I guess she's friends with Kamala Harris. So, long story short, if they let Jussie Smollett off, which it looks like they did, and they already found evidence, and they're talking about these phone records being leaked, and they already have text messages from Smollett to Kim Fox, who happens to know Kamala Harris. This could be the end of Kamala Harris's presidential run. And that's who they're going to push her the most. Cory Booker's not really electable. I think he's kind of He's kind of a weak candidate. Kamala Harris is a name everybody knows. So she was going to run. She is running right now. What else is happening today? Anybody else see Beto O'Rourke wearing that dress? Writing about like running kids over in a crosswalk? Beto for president, right? The weird part about that guy is he's a Texan with an Irish last name that speaks Spanish. Like, if that's the world that we got to live in and to be elected into government, I don't want to be a part of it, you know? I'm not moving. I'm never leaving the country. This is mine, you know, but at the same time, that's not the world I want to live in. What's some other stuff just off the top of my head? I want to kind of just get off the top of my head. You know the Young Turks? The Young Turks from the YouTube channel? So those people, the Young Turks, they named themselves after a genocidal group who happened to be Jewish that wiped out the Christian Armenians on purpose, like marched them through the desert with no water, through the cold, you know, like it was a genocide. Like the Jewish people genocided the heck out of these Armenian people. It's called the Armenian genocide. You know, you can look it up. I think it's on Wikipedia. But they named their group after it. You know, the Young Turks on YouTube, that's what they're named after. It's a genocidal group, a Christian genocide group. So, Chunk Uygur, is that his name? He's, whatever. They empowered this group called the the Social Democrats. And the Social Democrats are the ones that was a political action committee that empowered the idiot. From Bronx, the young woman that was, I shouldn't call her the idiot. I don't know what else to call her, though. She's not very smart. Bimbo. Bimbo's probably a better, more accurate term for it. She's a bimbo. You know, she was making she was making margaritas, a year ago or 2 years ago, at some hot dog stand in New York. Now she's writing the laws of the country. It's an American success story. Anyway, so what is some stuff about her? This is not is this interesting? Do I have to also show stuff at the same time? I probably should, huh? It's not on here though. Oh, listen to this. Let's talk about this. I've never talked about vaccines before. Now, because I'm trying to get my channel, dang it, I hate when they do this. It's the same one. Because I'm trying to get my channel partner approved with YouTube, I cannot tell you that vaccines cause autism.
Now let's talk of a state of emergency declared in Rockland County. This is because of the widespread measles outbreak. Here's what it means. Starting at midnight tonight, anyone who's under the age of 18 who has not been vaccinated against the measles will be banned from public places. And that...
What? What? There's a curfew. If you haven't been vaccinated against the measles, you're not allowed to be in the public. No public spaces. This reminds me of the bubonic plague, It's the measles, man. Nobody dies of the measles. I mean, how many people do you know that's ever had the measles? Maybe somebody does. I don't know anybody that's ever had it. I know people who've had the measles. They say it was like a high fever and, they were dehydrated. Then a few days later, they got okay. No big deal. It seems like maybe this isn't as big a deal. But then again, I don't know about the measles. I heard it's highly contagious and you could get it very quickly. I don't know what to think about this stuff. I think it's weird about the vaccine stuff. I think it's weird that they want to impose it on people. I also think it's weird that lately you've been hearing a lot more about it. But we don't know who's coming in across the border. So we don't know who's bringing in any kind of diseases because we don't check people at the border, or they just walk across in the middle of the desert and just come on in, you know? So we can't do like a health check on people. So then we get measles outbreaks, and then people are like, you got to stay home if you didn't have a vaccination. But if everybody was already vaccinated for like 30 years, then where did the measles come from? I think it's because people in other countries or other areas of the world are not vaccinated, and we're never vaccinated, and those countries never had a vaccination policy. But seems like a sticky situation. All right, I want to talk about one thing that I have learned recently. See how this place is called Rockland? Rockland County, New York? Now, Rockland County, New York has a significant Jewish population. The interesting thing about Israelis in particular is that Israelis have only a 30% vaccination rate across their entire population. Very few Israelis get vaccinated. And I didn't know that until recently. So, if you cross-reference some of these measles outbreaks, you will find a high Jewish population in some areas, Rockland being one of them. And I didn't know this until recently, but it's true. So what I thought was, why wouldn't Israeli Jews vaccinate themselves and their children? Because we are being told by the CDC and a lot of other places that vaccines are important. You know, they save lives. Which they might. You know, I'm not facing any kind of life-threatening illness. You know, so I'm probably not going to get one anytime soon. If you know what I'm saying. But, you know, if my neighbor had Ebola and everybody else at work had Ebola, you know, and they had a vaccine for Ebola, I would probably take one. So there's a balance in there somewhere, you know? Are you going to die? Is there a strong likelihood that you're going to die, you know, or face some kind of like horrible disfigurement and long-term health problem, you know, from this occurring? If that's true and there's a high risk of occurrence and it's likely that you're going to get it, then yeah, take a vaccine. Great. You know, I would. Why not? But I would probably just take it once, you know. I would take the one vaccine. That's just me though. These measles outbreaks, they pop up in areas where people don't have a lot of vaccination. Rockland has a high Jewish population, and Israelis don't have a high vaccination rate. One of the lowest, I think, in the world, actually. Like 70% of them haven't been vaccinated against the MMR stuff. So I wonder why they wouldn't. You know, is it something cultural or religious that the Israelis in particular just say, hey, I don't want to get the vaccines? Like, or do they know something? You know, is there something? Maybe their government is anti-vaccine or their news media is anti-vaccine. I don't know. I just know that there's a whole lot of vaccine stuff down here. Up next. So this was Rockland County declares measles state of emergency. You want to listen to the rest of this?
Ban will last until children get the vaccine or until the emergency declaration expires in 30 days. We want to get to News 4's Ida Siegel live in New City. Ida, the big question, we were talking about this earlier. How is it going to be enforced, though?
Yeah, Natalie, that's everyone's number one question, and it's kind of a gray area, actually. The short answer is police can use their discretion, but they will not be doing county-wide searches for children who aren't vaccinated.
Not yet.
They simply want to send
not
a
yet,
message.
They're not. Not yet. You got to boil that frog, friend. You know? Slow motion train wreck. They're not gonna go door to door looking for unvaccinated children just yet. They are going to use their discretion. How would you know in public which kids are vaccinated and which ones aren't? Unless you had some sort of central health record keeping solution, that the government has access to, and then some sort of facial recognition system that the government provided to public areas. That's probably the only way you could do it. It's a good thing that we don't live in a world where something like that's possible, right? All right. Let's listen to some more of this. I'm actually kind of interested.
To parents, obey the law and either vaccinate or keep your kids home.
What? Here we go. Is that what she's saying? That he's going to say? I hope you can hear this. I'm just assuming that you can.
It is the first executive order of its kind in the nation in response to a health crisis in Rockland County.
I am today declaring a countywide state of emergency. Effective at the stroke of midnight tonight, March 27th, anyone who is under 18 years of age and is unvaccinated against the measles will be barred from public places until the declaration expires in 30 days.
A drastic response to the country's...
First, they came for the unvaccinated children.
worst measles outbreak since 2000. It means all children in Rockland County who have not gotten a measles vaccine will no longer be allowed to go to school or to the grocery store or even the doctor's office. Any public place where people congregate indoors. They can go outdoors to places like public parks.
I think they shouldn't let them out because too many kids are getting sick.
Right? Right? This seems a little odd. Because if you don't want the measles, just go get the vaccine. Right? Right? Like, if you don't want measles and you're afraid of getting measles and you're saying it's really bad and there's no risk of taking the vaccination, then just go get the vaccine if you have a problem with it. And if you don't want to get the vaccine and there's a likelihood that you're going to get sick in Rockland and you're like, well, I don't really want to get the vaccine, you're the one getting sick. You understand? Like, you over there having measles is not my problem. You're the one with the measles. That's your problem, you know? And if there's a way that I can't not have measles, then I'll just get the shot if I don't want to get measles. If I don't get the shot, then it's, you know, whatever. Bummer. I got measles. So what? I'll stay home. Or not. It just seems really weird. Like, why wouldn't they just make it available to everybody and go, hey, anybody who's worried about look, we have a problem, people. Okay, we have a measles problem. If you're afraid that you're going to get the measles, there is a high risk of getting the measles. Here's some free shots, measles shots. You know, here it is. Line up. No big deal. But instead, they're saying, I don't know. I can also see somebody, a parent that has a kid with measles who is saying, you know what, I can see that you got measles. Just go to school. You know, I can totally see someone also doing that. Humanity isn't really thoughtful. We don't really take, most of us do, you know, but you guys know, you know some people right now that if their dog took a crap on the floor, they wouldn't pick it up. It would be there weeks from now. You know somebody like that. I used to. I don't know anybody like that now. But I've known people that would just do things you would not believe, man. Just No integrity and no responsibility at all, in just general society. So there's a measles outbreak in Rockland that has a high strong Jewish presence in the area. What to do? Okay, I actually wonder this. Do you support forced vaccinations? Is that something that you could support? Forced vaccinations. Is that something that you could support? Yes for yes and no for no. All right, this is kind of fun. I'm having fun now. See, I don't know what any of these are. Smollett. More Smollett. Who is pulling Kim Fox's strings? Goodbye, Fox. Kamala Harris is pulling Kim Fox's strings, and Kamala Harris is running for president. You know who else just got taken out? Was that Avenatti guy. He's done. I covered Stormy Daniels on my other channel a while back, and I was saying the only way they could get Trump was if had something to do with campaign contributions, and it looked like it did. And then the Cohen stuff happened, and I don't really know about Trump's lawyer Cohen, because I don't think that you couldn't be Trump's guy for that long and then flip on him after he hits the White House. I mean, unless you're trying to sell secrets and stuff and influence, which is what he was doing. And then he had a dirty tax business, from what I heard. But he testified inside of like the Mueller investigation, Mueller, and nothing came out of it, So the Mueller investigation was fake, which is what I said a year and a half ago. So anyway, Avenatti gets charged with trying to extort money from Nike. And Stormy Daniels says that there's more to come. And people were saying that eventually this Avenatti guy was going to be somebody. He wasn't just a lawyer. Like, he was trying to get some media play, become a public figure, and then run for office. And I hate even bringing it up because I think it's so far-fetched and unbelievable. It is a total, I would consider it flat earth level, tinfoil hat stupidity of reading into stuff too much. But there is a conspiracy theory, a fun one, that says that Donald Trump has a time machine. And one's in an old school Vet, and one's in an 84 Bronco. And they're attached to cars, and they time travel. And I know it sounds so stupid, but there's all this weird stuff, like Barron Trump, being in some book from 1904 or something. And Trump's uncle being the guy who got all of the records out of Nikola Tesla's laboratory, as an MIT professor. I mean, Trump had an MIT professor as an uncle who knew Nikola Tesla, or saw his direct work. So there's all this time machine stuff. And then you look at just people that have looked into it. There's all the imagery in Back to the Future. All the stuff in Back to the Future in there. There's some weird stuff in there. But the one that got me was Trump mentioning Pizzagate in 2014 on CNN. I mean, unless that is like a hoax video that someone put together or snipped together, he says Pizzagate on CNN in 2014. Like, that happened. Pizzagate did not happen until after that. There was no term for it. It didn't exist. So he knew about it before it happened. And people also bring up the 9/11 stuff, how he talked about how the building was going to come down before it came down, but that wasn't as strong for me because Benjamin Netanyahu wrote a book where he said, they're going to blow up the building. And then sure enough, the building blew up. So does Benjamin Netanyahu have a time machine? I don't know. I think it's more likely that Israel had something to do with it, but nobody has any proof. All right, so this is the interesting part, is that this guy named Mark Garagos is this other lawyer. And Garagos, I think, was like O.J. Simpson's lawyer or something. He did something way back when. Hey, by the way, that's Rahm Emanuel. I don't know if you can see this guy. See him talking? That guy's Jewish. Yep, I didn't know that. I mean, maybe you knew it. I didn't know it. Not until recently. I should have known it. I thought he was Muslim for some reason. I thought he was. No one ever says it though. I mean, I don't care. I don't care if you're Jewish. You know, just do the right thing. I don't care what you are. It just seems like a lot of people want to do all this other stuff that seems to be counterproductive to running like a functioning society. So it seems like someone should say something about it. How come no other QAnon reporters talk about that? You ever notice that? They all like to kind of stay in the hen's nest, you know, where it's safe and warm, and they're like, saving the best for last. We're saving the best for last. That's not what it says. It says, we are saving Israel for last. We are saving Israel for last. Very specific reason. It's not mentioned a single time. I hope it's not because we're going to take over the world on their behalf and then let them rebuild the third temple and bring about the end of humanity. I hope that's not it. What about the Awan brothers? Is Israel involved? We are saving Israel for last. I wonder if it's got something to do with like Pakistan and UAE. Did you know that Saudi Arabia has the third largest military budget in the world? It goes United States, China, Saudi Arabia, in that order. All right, so I was rambling a lot, but this guy named Mark Garagos, he's a somebody. Look him up. Actually, don't bother. It doesn't matter. It's kind of useless. Mark Garagos and Avenatti are buddies, I guess. And they told Nike that they'd go public unless it paid him $1.5 million, and then hired them to do something for like 15 or 25 million. So they were going after like 20 million bucks total money. They asked for $22.5 million for his silence. So that's extortion. All right, so the interesting thing, and it's not in here, is that like this guy, Garagos, I think, was Smollett's lawyer. Is that right? I think that's true. I have to look back into this. Sorry, like I said, it's gonna be, I mean, live streaming, you know, whatever. Bit different. All right, so I think the Avenatti stuff is somehow connected to the Smollett case. That's what I kind of got earlier. I'm gonna leave it here and then I'm gonna hop offline, I think. But this was weird. So this is a video of Pope Francis letting people not kiss his ring. He keeps offering it and then pulling it away. Isn't that weird? It's weird and awkward. He's like, no, don't do that. All right, so they made the point that like this was after he was in line for like 10 minutes. This has been going on for like 10 minutes already. I guess he just had the end of it. But they never told people. They could have just told people, look, don't make a fool out of yourself in front of the world's 1 billion Christians and a bunch of other people looking. You see him just hit that lady? This guy's an imposter. I mean, I guess other people say that. Can I say that and still get, still have a news channel? It doesn't look like he's trying to be a very good pope. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care about his annoyance, you know? Like, you're the pope, bro. You're supposed to be embodying what it means to be a good Christian. And losing your patience because people want to venerate this ring that we have a tradition for doesn't seem like, I don't know. Doesn't seem like a big deal, you know? All right. I think that's it for my first live stream. I hope you liked it. I know I didn't do the best job I could, but I'll work on this, you know, I'll get better at it. I think that so my news channel pretty much is going to be focused on the Q board, Q post, the Drudge Report, things that I dig up on Twitter searches. Every once in a while we'll do a deep dive into stuff. But I'd like to use this live streaming, like this kind of format, to kind of do some background research and kind of dig into stuff, like slow motion. And I want to open it up, so I'll get another monitor. That way I can see your comments at the same time, because I can't see your comments, like I said. But if I could see your comments, then maybe we could kind of do some research together. You know, I would really like that, because I know that it kind of sucks being on that side and you have like some really good information, but there's really no way to add to it. So it ends up in the comments, which is a good place, but it would be nice to be able to kind of crowdsource some of this stuff. I mean, sometimes I dig for hours, I don't find what I'm looking for, so it'd be nice to get some help, you know? In the future, I may offer some kind of like subscription service. I don't know how that's going to work out. I know YouTube has ways to run ads, super chat, subscriptions, things like that, but I want to see how this stuff works for me, because people make, I don't care. Like, I know that other content creators, this stuff takes a lot of time out of your day, you know? It really is time consuming, some of it, especially editing. So I think that people should be able to get paid for their work. YouTube just makes it so difficult on some people that I think that we need to create some other way that we can create an opportunity for people to do this. Because the biggest complaint we all have is that, oh, so-and-so's a shill, so-and-so's a shill. Well, if say like a QAnon reporter, say there was a QAnon reporter that had been doing this from the beginning, and then people were like, oh, no, that guy's a shill because of X, Y, and Z. Maybe he is a shill, you know? But maybe that was like the only opportunity he had to actually do the work that he likes doing, which is selling out. It's the same thing rock bands do whenever they hit, you know, they go triple platinum. They've sold out. Musicians do it, actors do it, reporters do it. People go work for the New York Times. Not all those people are liberal. You know, not all those people are stupid. But they're paid to do what the person in charge of the newspaper or the movie wants them to do and say. So they don't have autonomy, I guess. They can't do what they want to do because they don't have any support outside of that paycheck. So like I wanted to do this professionally for a while, but I don't know how it's going to work. I don't know how it would work, because I don't really want to take donations or things like that. Like that's not what I wanted. Most sites run on ads. I think if everybody can run ads, I don't mind watching an ad if I like somebody's stuff. You know, I've subscribed to people. I've subscribed to people that pay. I think you pay like $8 a month or $12 a month. And I know that Owen Benjamin's working with Vox Day, and I think they got Steven Crowder to sign up as well for this thing called unauthorized.tv. So I'm kind of in a complicated situation. I would like to do this professionally, but I would never do it for I would never do it for a TV show, you know, for like what's on TV, or I would never want someone to pay me because then they're going to go, oh, you can't say that. You know, you can't say that the Prime Minister from Australia might be a man, you know, maybe. There's no way they'd let you say that if you're being paid, you know, if someone's paying your paycheck. So outsourcing this, crowdsourcing it, that's the only way to do it. I'd like to see if it's possible for me, but I'm looking for other outlets. So, what do you think? Like, would that bother you? Like, if I was able to offer a subscription service, I mean, I would still leave my other channel open. I'd still do videos over there. It's like nothing would change. It's just here. This would be more of an opportunity for me to provide a little bit more. But I don't know if that's really what I want. You know, I kind of go back and forth on it. So let me know your thoughts. I mean, write down what you want or leave a comment whenever the video finally posts. I don't know how this works. But I appreciate the support. Thanks for showing up on short notice. And if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do it. If you want to get updates for when I do live streams, the alert button, you have to go to the channel, and when you press subscribe, you have to click the little alarm button thing. Otherwise, you may get the alert, you might not. Okay, that's it for now. Until next time, this is Bill Smith. Thanks for watching.